Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. Going to have a look at the weather next week to 10 days for today's video. It's going to take us into the second week of March. I think it goes around the 9th of March for day 10. Still quite a lot of uncertainty about what's happening next week. The weather's going to try and get milder over the weekend, but how successful that is, I think there's still an uncertainty about it. Maybe that the south gets less cold and then perhaps the cold comes back next week for a time anyway. For the north it might be, but it never really gets milder. So there are still questions to answer about next week's weather. And of course, for the time being, we are locked into the freezer. The beast from the east is being unleashed. A lot of people now reporting snow showers, and it's going to stay pretty cold. In fact, it's going to get colder over the next couple of days. So the cold temperatures, it feels cold now, but if you think it's cold now, just wait for Wednesday and Thursday. It really is going to get very, very bitterly cold indeed as the wind picks up and we drag in even colder air from the east. We'll be talking about sub-zero maxima tomorrow and Thursday across many parts of the country, and with more snow to come. We're going to update Snow Watch for you tonight. That'll be between 7 and 8 o'clock this evening. We'll have a detailed look at the snow risk for tonight. Between this video and that video, Terry Scully has issued a few spring thoughts. So we've got Terry's spring forecast coming up around 5 o'clock this evening. So busy day at the website. I'll tell you for everything that's going on right now. Just start with some pics. We have had some snow pics sent through to us. So there are various ways you can have your pictures featured in the weather videos. You can email them to gazweathers@gmail.com. You can share them with us on our social media pages, either Twitter or Facebook. And of course, you can post them to the comment box at Gazweathers. We'll start with the ones that have been emailed. So this was emailed by Mark Kanish in the Wirral. A snowy morning there. The snow that we anticipated to move in off the North Sea and affect parts of northern England and Wales overnight. That materialised, so a nice covering of snow up there in the Wirral area from Mark Kanish. This is from Axel Kotzek. This is in Burnley. Again, quite deep snow cover there. Proper snowy scene there this morning up in Burnley. Saw this on Twitter. This is from Lucy Saxton in Tunbridge Wells. Deep snow down there. It looks like the dogs are having fun playing in the snow. And this one is from Adam Billard in Norfolk, in the Norfolk area. And again, quite deep snow cover over there. Proper heavy snow showers coming through, producing a decent covering of snow in Norfolk. This is posted to Gaz Weather. This is Mark Coleman down in Kent, and deep snow there. Mark's reported that the situation getting really quite serious on the road, sort of very, very treacherous on that particular road. Do take care if you're out and about in these snowy conditions. This is from CDJ in St Leonard's. Again, nice covering of snow in CD's back garden. This is from Brendan. Now, Brendan lives in Finland, but he's got friends in Maidstone down in Kent. Very deep snow cover down there in Kent this morning. This is from James in Sittingbourne, also down in Kent. Really deep snow there by the look of it. A proper snowy old morning going on down there. And Neil pictured this. I think Neil's in the Black Country. Some real icicles on a bridge that Neil was walking through earlier on today. And icicles, they're always one of the things that I associate with a big freeze. So when they start turning up, those sort of icicles on bridges and the side of houses, and do take care, by the way, you happen to be under icicles because they can break off and cause some very nasty injuries. Actually, I think there have even been over years fatalities from icicles falling onto people. So always take care if you're underneath icicles. But when they turn up, I think that's always a sign that we are having a bit of a freeze up, and it looks like icicles are appearing now with these very cold temperatures. That's the latest radar picture from the Weather Outlook, so you can see that we have got, and a big thanks to everybody for sending those pictures through, by the way. So again, if you want to have your pictures featured in the videos, you can email them to gavservice@gmail.com. You can share them on our social media pages, and you can share them or post them into the comment box at Gavservice. It's a Discuss comment box, so you have to sign up for a Discuss account to be able to do that. And we're always happy to feature your snow pics in the vids. Right, this is a radar picture from the Weather Outlook. Lots of showers across the country today. They're pushed much further west than was the case yesterday. That area across the west of Wales, that's the snow that come across northern England and Wales overnight. But now we've got a lot of instability in the atmosphere, so lots of snow showers. Many of them are heavy. We have had a snow stream. That's what produced all of that deep snow in the southeast. It looks like that's beginning to break up a little bit now, but it might reinvigorate again later on today. If you have a look at the precipitation type, you can see lots of pink showing up. It doesn't show up the snow showers all that well, really, but lots of pink showing up. Pretty much all of these showers are actually snow, whatever that is suggesting, because there are our dew points today, widely below freezing with the dew points today. So there's only a couple of observations where the dew point is at +1, but otherwise I think generally the dew points are below freezing, which means anything falling from the sky will be snow. And will usually be snow. There are exceptions, but usually in this situation, anything falling from the sky with a dew point below freezing will be snow. And let's just finally have a look at what the surface temperatures are doing. There they are. So in the west, we have just about crept up above freezing, but over in the east, and particularly the southeast, the temperatures are at or below freezing still at midday today, and those temperatures can be expected to lower as well over the next couple of days. So by Thursday, we're probably looking at maxima no more than around -2 or -3 for some parts of the country. Reason for that is this easterly wind. So there's a Scandinavian high in over Scandinavia. That's the beast from the east. The winds are coming in from the east, of course, so it's bitterly cold already, but they're relatively light winds. But in the next couple of days, those winds are going to start to strengthen a lot. There's our upper air temperatures by 6 o'clock in this evening. So it is very cold already, but notice this black line just here. That's the -15 Celsius iceberg, and that is really exceptionally cold air, and it's just heading in towards the east coast by 6 o'clock this evening. There's the thickness line. That's the 510 thickness line, that deep blue line just there. That's proper sort of cold air that is moving in from the east. And by the time you go through to 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, that 510 thickness line has actually spread across the whole of the country, and it's clearing Ireland as well. So that really is bitter cold air that's coming in from the east. So, as I say, if you think it's cold now, just wait for tomorrow. It will be even colder, and the wind will be strengthening tomorrow as well. There's the -15 Celsius isotherm. That's also pushing in through the course of tomorrow. So the freeze will actually be intensifying tomorrow, and then that's going to continue into Thursday as well. Notice much more tight packed isobars tomorrow, indicating that not only will the freeze be intensifying, not only will it be colder with the air temperatures and the surface temperatures, it will also feel colder as well because of the strength of that wind. There will be a very nasty wind chill factor indeed. So the big freeze is certainly hasn't reached its peak yet, and it will be getting worse over the next couple of days with these temperatures. I'm on the severe weather warnings page from the UK Met Office. Lots of alerts and warnings have been issued. So for today, we've got a yellow warning for snow widely across the country. Most places are within that yellow weather warning for snow. Tomorrow, we've got amber warnings in force as well as yellow warnings. So the amber warning is for many eastern parts of Scotland and down into northeastern parts of England. Could be some really significant snow there. Thunder snow is also a possibility for those areas tomorrow. Thursday, we've got amber warnings again for snow in the north and northeast, and also down in the south and the southwest of the country. And then we go through to Friday. The north comes out of the warnings for Friday at the moment, but down in the south, yellow and amber warnings covering much of England and Wales, and yellow warnings into Saturday as well. So still very significant and disruptive snowfall is likely over the coming few days. It is possible we might see a red warning at some point, which is kind of like a national emergency level. It is possible we will get that in the next few hours and days somewhere in the United Kingdom. Do keep an eye on the severe weather warnings page from the UK Met Office. I'm going to put the link to that in the description box here at YouTube. If you are ever concerned about the weather or your safety, the UK Met Office is always a place to go. We don't issue severe weather warnings at gas weathers because we're not qualified to do that. The only people that are qualified to advise you about your safety is the UK Met Office. So always go to the UK Met Office and see what the severe weather warnings are doing, how many have been issued and where they've been issued for, and what they're saying. If you are ever concerned about your safety in terms of weather. And I say I will leave a link to the severe weather warnings page at UK Met Office in the description box here at YouTube. The links are on the homepage to UK Met Office severe weather warnings page at gas weathers all the time as well. Central England temperature, this also from the UK Met Office at Hadley. This is coming down a lot. So yesterday we stood provisionally at 3.7. Today we've gone down to 3.5. That's provisional up to yesterday, the 26th. We've got 2 more days to go. Both days should see the CET, central England temperature, coming down even more. Then there's usually a downwards correction. So now I'm starting to think it's very likely that February is going to come in with a CET under 3 degrees, probably somewhere around 2.8, 2.9. I think that's very likely because the next 2 days will post more drops in the CET, and then there will almost certainly be a downwards correction because there usually is. They shave off 0.2 of a degree or so. And I reckon that's going to take us underneath 3 degrees for our CET this year. And it's a long time since that's happened. Actually, this is from Trevor Harley's personal weather website. This is showing all the CETs back to 1900, but actually you can go further than that, 1659 with the central England temperature. So this is our year just here, 2018. That's February's box just there. It hasn't got a number in it yet, but very soon it will do. When was the last time we had a cold February? So what we could say is underneath sort of 4 degrees. That would be a cold February. And the last time we had one of those was 2013, which came out with a February CET of 3.2. Incidentally, March 2013 was even colder, brutally cold in March 2013 with a CET of 2.7. It was the coldest month of the winter, even though it was a spring month, and it was the coldest March since around 1883, I think. But to get us February with a CET underneath 3 degrees, you actually have to go even further back. We have to go to 2010, which came in with a February CET of 2.8. So if we get underneath 3.2, and I think we'll definitely do that, when we get under 3.2, it'll be our coldest December since 2010. If we was to go under 2.8, when was the last time we was underneath 2.8 for a February CET? That was a very, very, very long time ago. That was back in 1996, this year just here, which came out with a CET of 2.5. Actually, since 1996, it's only 2010, that has posted a February with a CET underneath 3 degrees. So highly unusual what's happening here. And as I say, if we go under 2.8, we'll have had our coldest February for over 20 years. Before that, the last time it was under 2 degrees for February's CET was back in 1991. That very, very extraordinarily severe freeze-up of February 1991. That ended up with a February CET of 1.5. We won't be as cold as that, but we're on a par with 2010, I think, here. Possibly, not out of the question, we might, if we get a fairly big downwards correction, as well. We might come out underneath 2010, have our coldest February since 1996. So all very interesting what's happening with the numbers. Right, let's do a bit of forecasting then. This is the GFS temperature and precipitation ensemble chart for Luton. We're looking at Luton today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Luton. There's our big freeze just there, significantly colder than average right now. We're going to see the temperatures lifting up over the weekend and into the start of next week, probably, but you'll notice from a very early stage there are a few cold outliers, and look what's happening as we get through later next week, this period just here. It looks like we've actually got a bit of a cooling trend with the temperature possibly starting to lower again a little bit. In terms of precipitation, so these spikes just here, snow showers, that could well be a snow event at the end of the week. And then with this period just here, probably some of these precipitation spikes are going more towards rain. Let's have a look at the surface temperatures for Luton, and we're starting off there, really cold, ice days galore over the rest of this week really. Into the weekend, slowly, the temperature starts to become less cold. You wouldn't exactly say it's mild, but certainly going a bit less cold over weekend and start of next week. But then later on, maybe hints, if anything, of a little bit of a decline. I'm not sure, but there is a lot of scatter there. Look at the mildest ensemble members up here at around 10 degrees, but the coldest ensemble members are down there underneath -5, their minimum. So I think really it is still up for grabs as we go through into next week. And it's still by no means certain it's going to turn definitively mild. That's a temperature anomaly for the next week, going from 27th of February to the 7th of March, coming out significantly colder than average for the UK and the most parts of Europe as well. Precipitation anomalies looking like that. It's a bit drier than average for the northwest of Scotland. Elsewhere near normal with the precipitation. Eastern parts a bit above average. That's picking up on the snow showers moving in from the east. Here's the GFS of Friday then. Could still have very significant snow, maybe blizzards across the southwest on Friday. We will cover that in Snow Watch later on today. Look at that easterly wind. It's a strong easterly wind. It'll still be bitterly cold. There's severe wind chill taking place at the end of the week. Into the weekend, these areas of low pressure are trying to introduce less cold air. For the south, I think they will succeed in bringing less cold air in. But from the Midlands northwards, this is not a definitive breakdown into less cold conditions. And you'll notice for Scotland and Northern England, even on Sunday, we still have the wind in from the east, and that continues into the early part of next week as well, with these areas of low pressure just pivoting around the UK, but not definitively pushing through. The black line here is the jet stream. You'll notice generally the jet stream is still a long way to our south. All that's happening is that the blocking is easing slightly in the north, which is allowing these sort of flabby lows to start bringing less cold air in from the south. But this is not by any means a definitive switch to something a lot milder. And as we go up to day 10, we find that this situation continues. And if anything, we may be starting to see signs of the Scandinavian high trying to re-exert its influence there by day 10, trying to get the wind back into the east, which it actually manages to pull off on this particular GFS run. ECWF looks like that. Gale force winds and possibly blizzards in the southwest at the end of the week. We go up to Saturday. Again, same idea as the GFS. These flabby areas of low pressure just meandering their way in from the Atlantic, but not definitively switching us into a mild Atlantic driven pattern. And that looks a very bizarre chart as we're going up towards day 10. But you'll notice again, heights are still relatively high up over Scandinavia. That's how we finish at day 10 with a very messy sort of situation, but again it isn't definitively breaking through the Atlantic. And actually the GEM this morning wants to keep things cold throughout next week. So this is Friday with this blizzard down in the southwest possibly. Then we go into the weekend, and these areas of low pressure not getting as far north with the GEM as they do with the other models. So we keep generally away from the south coast. We're keeping the winds in from the east throughout next week, staying bitterly cold and actually probably returning the the cold. I mean, look at that. That's for Wednesday next week with a gale force, northeasterly wind again, and this area of low pressure just to our southeast. That would be probably bringing back widespread snow across many parts of the country through the middle of next week. We go up to day 10, and it's still looking really cold generally. And not a definitive breakdown or breakthrough for the Atlantic. Well, I might include CFS for the next month, but I think we've done enough for today. I think that's enough to be going on with. So, essentially, we're still not definitively breaking out of this cold weather. Now, what I think is going to happen is over the weekend, we will gradually start to ease the less cold air. I'm not going to say milder, but less cold air will gradually start to ease in from the Atlantic to the south. How far north that's going to get, I'm not at all certain. It may get up to the Midlands and Wales, but whether it gets any further than that to Northern England, Northern Ireland, I certainly don't see it getting to Scotland. Whether it gets to Northern Ireland and Northern England, I think, is in doubt. It might get to Wales and Midlands. Further south of that, I think it will turn less cold with slow turning to rain and a force setting in over weekend. But next week, we could see that cold air starting to come back. So it won't be to this week's level of severity. But again, we're still not definitively pushing the Atlantic through and getting out of this cold pattern yet. So I think we need to wait and see about next week. There is still quite a bit of uncertainty about where it's all going, I think. And in the meantime, really cold. It's going to get even colder over the next couple of days. So we haven't reached our coldest period yet with this freeze up. It will get worse through tomorrow and Thursday, and there'll be more snow around as well. We'll cover that in Snow Watch this evening. All right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.